What's going on, y'all? Your boy Darius the Great here, back again for the video, and this time we have ourselves some more scary stories. Yes, we have 3 disturbing true Halloween horror stories by Mr. Nightmare this time. Like I mentioned, videos ago, I am doing more scary, spooky videos for the month of October, of course. I'll link the last scary stories video I did, which was by Nighttime Spooks. It was Chuck E. Cheese videos. That was fun. I'll put that in like the little card thing up here. So yeah, man, I don't want to waste much time. This is like a 20-minute video. Speaking of horror, scary stuff, I did a full playthrough of The Quarry here on YouTube. Streamed that, uploaded it. It's there for you. Speaking of streaming, I'm also on Twitch. I'm trying to be more active on Twitch, doing a lot more stuff. I'm currently playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 on there, so go over there if you haven't already, man. Which I know you haven't already, because I only have like a couple followers, which is understandable. I wasn't that active, but it's changing. So follow me on Twitch, man. Help me get to that affiliate status. Be greatly appreciated. And of course, go over to Mr. Nightmare. Subscribe to him, because he does some great scary stories. And without further ado, let's get it. Got some plush toys. Okay, interesting. Halloween horror stories. Oh boy. It's getting near that time, man.
It was Halloween weekend.
Okay.
It was falling on a Saturday this year. My mom always takes decorations and giving out candy very seriously. It's almost like she has to compete with the neighbors to have the most sought-after house to trick-or-treat at.
I never had that
We
experience.
live on a corner in a regular suburban neighborhood. So when we're decorating, we also decorate the side yard of the house too.
Okay.
Since Halloween was a Saturday this year, kids started trick-or-treating earlier in the day.
Figured.
However, it was a cloudy, cold day.
Uh-oh.
There was a chance of rain in the forecast.
Ooh.
My mom apparently couldn't understand that this may have been a factor as to why there weren't many trick-or-treaters out.
Gotcha.
Instead, after a few trick-or-treaters seemingly skipped our house, she assumed it was because there weren't enough decorations out to attract the trick-or-treaters.
Is that
She told me to go get whatever containers were left in the attic containing decorations.
in the attic?
I insisted this wasn't necessary, but she insisted otherwise and forced me to. So
Okay.
I went up to the attic, which is directly above my bedroom. The attic door is in the hallway upstairs. I pulled down the door and climbed up the ladder.
I've never even seen my
I had
attic.
the holiday containers sorted a specific way.
I never
So
will.
I went over to where the Halloween containers were.
I don't know what's up there.
There were only a couple still left up there. I opened one to see what was inside and said good enough. I started dragging the container out towards the attic door. Then I carefully slid the container down the ladder. As I was about to climb down out of the attic,
Mine doesn't have a
I
ladder.
thought I heard something on the opposite side of the attic.
Excuse me?
Like a piece of wood cracking under the weight or pressure of something. I looked over to the wall of containers in the far corner.
I was gonna say like a
It's an
possum or
attic,
something. I
though.
don't know.
The sound of wood snapping or cracking really wasn't that weird. I climbed down out of the attic and brought the decorations downstairs. From there, my mom and I put out some more decorations in the front yard.
Okay.
It was really windy and felt like rain at any second. There really weren't many trick-or-treaters at all. My mom was disappointed because she goes all out with the candy too. She's always been one of those people who makes a bunch of homemade goodie bags with a bunch of different candies inside. I could see how upset she was that she wasn't going to give most of them away at this rate.
I don't need a
The
homemade
day
stuff, man.
progressed, and I was in my room playing video games on my laptop, while my mom was downstairs in the living room and kitchen handing out candies to the few trick-or-treaters that would come.
I would just be tired of hearing
Then
the
it
doorbell
started to rain,
or whatever.
That pretty much put a damper on the rest of the day
Yep.
trick-or-treaters-wise.
There's the end of Halloween.
I was gaming in my room when I heard a crack from above my room,
double mo-
in the attic. Again, not really abnormal, but I made a mental note that that was the second time I heard something from up there. The rest of the day was rainy, and that night it turned into a thunderstorm.
Oof.
Perfect for Halloween night.
Yeah.
I used to be a big gamer in my teens, and so instead of going out with friends on a Saturday night, I would often just stay in playing video games, unfortunately.
That's me.
This
Who
night
needs
was no
friends?
exception to that. I stayed up really late into the night.
What are
Asked my
friends?
parents. It was still raining outside. Then I heard something above me again. This time it sounded like footsteps. I was wondering if my mom was in the attic putting stuff away, but it was
No,
late
no.
at night. I sat and listened for a while.
No.
The sound stopped. I paused my game and went out into the hallway after a couple minutes.
I'm not going
I
out
saw
there.
the attic door was open.
Oh!
I now heard noises from downstairs in the kitchen. I heard the sound of things being moved around in the fridge.
What?
My heart was racing now. I tiptoed down the hall to my parents' room and quietly opened the door. When I saw both my parents fast asleep in bed, I felt my stomach twist. I felt sick. I quietly closed the door and went up to my dad to shake him awake. He woke up easily, and I whispered to him, "There's someone in the house." He immediately sat up and said, "What?" I said, "There's someone in the kitchen right now in the fridge. I think they're hiding in the attic."
Right in the fridge,
My
man.
dad is not a large or confrontational man.
Ugh.
He keeps a police baton under his bed in the case of an emergency.
A police
but I
baton.
don't think he ever thought he'd have to actually use it.
A police, but I gotta do it again. I gotta do it again. A police baton ain't enough, man. God.
My dad told me to stay quiet. He went to go look out into the hall quietly. When he came back inside, he whispered that he saw someone down the hall climbing into the attic.
And plus, you know, he's not a large or confrontational man. Sir, you are the man of the house. You are the father, the dad. You best be confrontational when there's somebody in your house. You kidding me? Where your family sleeps?
He shut the bedroom door and he locked it and then called 911. By now, my mom was awake too.
I mean, that's the right thing to do,
but we
too,
all
but,
stayed as quiet as possible and didn't freak out. It was now a waiting game until the police showed up. My dad went downstairs to open the front door. The attic door was now shut. The police had to go inside, and they found some homeless-looking man hiding in the corner behind that wall of containers.
He was in
The
there
sounds I was
with you.
hearing were in fact from a person the whole time.
Oh my God.
Seeming dirty and kind of scary looking. Apparently was very straightforward and honest. That he simply walked in when he saw the front door was open the day before.
Who
He
left
had
the
no place to sleep. He brought one of our blankets up there.
Dude.
There was a jar of peanut butter up there too that he was eating. The whole thing is still very disturbing. And I wonder how things would have played out if I or my father confronted the man instead of the police. My parents didn't press any charges.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, seeing the real photo, that actually gave me chills, dude. That's, oh my God, I couldn't. Oh my God.
When I was 18, I threw a house party at my parents' house for Halloween. It was closed invite, meaning I told people not to bring strangers.
Okay.
That was a rule my parents gave me. They were not at the house that weekend,
Might not
which
need
was
this
why
for
I
a
was
minute.
able to throw the party. With another rule being the place needed to be even cleaner than it was before the party.
Okay.
I invited around 50 people and probably around 40 ended up showing up. The party started around 6. It was starting to get dark out. It would be partially in the backyard and partially the first floor. My parents left me money for refreshments like sodas and food to leave in the kitchen for people to take.
Fair
I
enough.
told my parents it would be a non-alcoholic party, but I think they knew that was a load of shit.
Yeah.
My friend who's a few years older than me brought his DJ equipment to DJ.
Bust out the
party was in
1800.
full swing by dark. Everyone
like
seemed
that.
to listen and not bring strangers, because I recognized everyone.
This is like a damn
Just about everyone
seance.
came up to me and greeted me after entering. I didn't drink too much because it was my party and I wanted to be somewhat responsible.
Hello,
Everyone else
absolutely
was
not.
getting drunker the later the night went. Eventually, one of my friends came out of the house after getting food.
Okay.
He asked who that guy in the skeleton bodysuit inside the house was. I didn't recall seeing anyone in a bodysuit costume, so I went inside the house, where there were a few people hanging out in the kitchen. I asked if they saw someone wearing a skeleton bodysuit, and someone told me yeah, it seemed like he was snooping around the house. I grew concerned when I heard this, and I asked if anyone invited him or knew who it was. No one inside knew him. I looked around the house and then found him. He was walking down the
Dude,
stairs.
get all the demon
I asked,
imagery
"Who
out of
are
here.
you?" And he said, "Mike. I was using the bathroom upstairs." It was a really deep voice. He sounded older.
Huh.
His frame was also a bit larger. Not like muscular, just a stockier looking build.
He was fat.
I asked, "Who invited you?" And he said, "Tom." I didn't know a single Tom.
Tom,
I
who?
asked, "Who's Tom?" Then I just asked him if he could take his mask off. He didn't listen or even respond.
Sir, get the hell out of
He
my
walked
house.
past me towards the front door, then he left. I ran upstairs to check if any of the rooms had been gone through, and if anything had been stolen. All the doors upstairs, except for the bathroom door, were closed, and after a quick look, it seemed nothing was stolen.
Okay.
So I went to lock the front door,
Uh-huh.
and then I told a bunch of my friends about how weird that just was.
Uh-huh.
I went outside to ask a few friends if they knew who invited the skeleton guy, and not a single person knew who it was. Eventually, I gave it a rest. The party was winding down around midnight.
Oh God, it's not over.
Most people were starting to leave.
No.
A few close friends stayed behind a little later to help clean up.
No.
After all was said and done, it was a successful party. When everyone was gone,
No.
I started getting ready for bed.
No.
One of my friends, Vinny, stayed over on the couch downstairs. After brushing my teeth and changing into pajamas, I decided to go hang out with Vinny in the living room for a while.
My friend Vinny.
We had some drinks and just watched funny YouTube videos on TV. My little sister, who was 14, was asleep by now.
Okay.
She didn't hang outside with the party because she was too young.
Uh-huh.
We were being quiet so as not to wake her.
She's gonna wake
When
up.
Vinny and I both heard noises from upstairs, it seemed that we woke her up. I was expecting the sounds, which sounded like footsteps, to move to the bathroom or something. I got a little confused when I never heard my sister's door open. I decided to go upstairs just to check on her. I knocked on her door, and she didn't answer. I opened it a crack and saw that she was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
What were those sounds I was hearing? I went to my parents' room and realized the door wasn't clicked shut. I was able to just push it open without twisting the doorknob.
Without a knife?
Odd, because I made sure their door was closed before the party. I looked inside the room without turning on the lights. Then, as I backed out of the room,
Dude.
I looked through the crack of the door.
Nah.
On the other side, I saw that guy in the skeleton bodysuit. I made no mistake, I knew what I was looking at. I'm impressed with myself for not running or screaming. I pretended I didn't see him and pulled the door closed. Then I went downstairs and told Vinny that the guy from before is in the house.
You get a knife.
I had him call 911 and tell them that there's an intruder in the house.
Yeah, do that too,
While I
but get a
tiptoed
knife.
back upstairs to my sister's room, went inside and shook her to wake her up. I explained to her what was going on and made sure she would be quiet while following me downstairs. She did a good job not freaking out either. When we were downstairs, we met Vinny in the kitchen by the back door, where we went outside to the backyard.
Dude.
Then we cut through the side to the front and went to our neighbor's house, ringing the bell at least 3 times.
I'm just much more
Our neighbor
confrontational.
let us wait with him for the police.
I mean, she did. He did say the dude was like kind of stocky, so never mind. I probably would
At
do
some
the same
point
thing.
before the police got there, that guy escaped through our parents' bedroom window. I know because the window was now open. Their closet door was also open, where my dad keeps his safe. It's as if it were someone who knew about the safe being there that tried breaking into it or just taking the whole safe out from the floor.
Damn.
It was obvious how the man broke in. He simply just walked into the party again. It could have been any number of people, though. We never found out who it was. But it was someone who knew I was having a party, someone older, and someone who knew about my parents' safe. My sister ended up telling our parents about it, and obviously that was the last party I was ever allowed to throw at their house.
I don't know how true this is, but I've always heard that like most burglaries, like at like home, are committed by people that know the people they're
This
robbing.
happened in
You know?
2016, when I was 15. This would be my last year trick-or-treating on Halloween, so I wanted to make it a big occasion. My mom is pretty laid back, so it turned into a huge multi-day thing for me. The day before Halloween, I would have a sleepover with my friends Davis and Zach, skip school the next day on Halloween, trick-or-treat with Davis and Zach, and then have a sleepover with just my girlfriend Amber and I.
Okay.
This story carries into both nights.
Oh, really?
So I'll try to explain the best I can.
All right.
My basement had just gotten renovated into a man cave.
It's nice
So
basement.
obviously my friends and I wanted to stay down there for the night.
The
The
heck?
basement had a...
I think my big speed just went off. That thing freaked the hell out of me. What the hell? I don't know if you guys even heard that, but that scared the hell out of me.
long hallway right to the man cave. The light switch to the hallway didn't work. It had a pretty creepy vibe, but for tonight, that would be a good thing. My mom made us cookies, and then we went down into the cave.
Okay.
It was around 11 p.m., and we had just finished watching the original Scream.
Nice.
Our
Classic
second
movie.
movie of the night would be Paranormal Activity.
Absolutely
which
not.
None of us had watched before. and
Not-
That's why I picked it.
I'm not watching it.
I remember pausing the movie not even 30 seconds in because of the motion-detected light in the backyard turning on. It lit the whole room up, ruining the creepy vibe we had going.
I ain't watching no
So
ghost
I waited
movies.
for the 30-second timer so it would turn off.
I don't do ghost
Then
movies.
unpause the movie. Then after about another 30 seconds, the light went off for a second time, and I started getting annoyed. Davis asked me what kept making it turn on, and I said I had no clue.
Obviously something.
30 more seconds passed by, and the light turned off again. And I played the movie again. It was at this point I wanted to know what the hell was going on.
Dude.
So I asked for Davis and Zach to come upstairs with me so I could see what it was.
The first time I would have went
They
and looked.
agreed and went up the stairs to look through my back door.
It's a motion sensor.
By the time we got there, the light in the backyard had turned off, so it was hard to see. We
I like
stood
this
for
music.
5 minutes waiting for something to happen, but nothing ever did. We went back down to the den and decided to turn off the movie for the night and just sit on our phones and talk. We weren't really invested in it anyway. About 2 hours later, everyone was asleep except for me. I was just scrolling on my phone when the familiar glow of the motion light came through the window for now the 4th time.
Nah, bro, something's
I
out
was
there.
exhausted though, and so I figured it was just another group of kids trying to prank us or something.
Nope.
The
Never
more I thought
assume.
about it, the less it made sense.
Makes an ass out of you and
I
me
figured I would check the backyard one last time.
and gets you killed.
Just like I thought would happen, no one was out there. I gave up, so I went back down to the den and called it a night. The next night came in the blink of an eye. The next thing I knew, I had a bag full of candy. I felt kind of sad. In
Okay.
a way, this was like my childhood ending. However, I figured I should just try and enjoy the night and not reminisce. At this point, I still had lingering thoughts about the previous night.
I never give
whether
much
I should
thought.
tell Amber or not.
About trick-or-treating, you know?
She was scared of everything, and I
Like when
didn't
I
want to ruin
stopped.
a night with her over a story. We were at one of our last houses on the route we took when Amber let out a loud yell in pain. We asked what
Jesus,
happened,
dog!
and then she
Oh
told us
my
that
God.
she had a rock thrown at her. I turned around to find some guy in a clown mask standing around 15 feet behind us.
Nope.
This was amid the clown epidemic.
I had a feeling!
I told him to get lost, but he just stood there. I analyzed him a bit more and realized this guy looked like a grown man. He only had a clown mask on also.
As
The
soon...
rest of his quote-unquote costume was just normal clothes. He kept walking, but all the man did was stand there. It was at this point we called it a night and skipped the last few houses out of anxiety. We went back to my house so my friends could get picked up.
Okay. I figured I'd go and check out what he was barking at, you know? Because you never know. He gonna catch me slipping. That was fine, though.
And just like that, it was just my girlfriend and I looking at candy on the floor in the den.
Okay.
She asked if we could watch a movie, and so I decided that I would just turn on Paranormal Activity again
No.
later that night to finish it.
No, we're not doing
I
that.
remember the scene in the movie perfectly. It was Mika walking around to find his girlfriend.
Don't know who that is.
Suddenly the screen went black, and the dimmed lights in the cave turned off.
Oh!
My girlfriend and I looked at each other. I realized the power went out. This immediately made me start to get paranoid.
That's why you don't watch that.
Power had never gone out in this house unless there was a storm. I checked my weather app, and it said it was normal conditions that night.
So someone
Not
cut
even
the power.
A little bit of rain.
Okay.
I told Amber to stay in the cave.
Somebody
But
cut
she
the power,
felt
bro.
scared down there, so she decided to come upstairs with me to see what was going on. The generator to the house was in the backyard, and that's when I got the terrible feeling in my stomach. The thoughts of last night creeping back to me. And this time, I didn't have Davis and Zach with me. Amber wasn't very strong. All the worst thoughts came to my mind as I opened the sliding door to the backyard. All I heard was crickets chirping. I figured that maybe I was just overthinking. Amber and I passed by the motion light, which didn't kick on now. I was about 5 feet from the generator when I thought I heard a twig snap. Amber and I looked towards the forest on the far side of the yard, with the
I'd be.
only sounds being crickets.
Let's go. Ah.
We felt like we were being watched. I almost felt like I had to throw up.
No, I'm about to throw
I'd
down.
rather stay in the house with no lights on than be out here. I didn't want to be outside any longer.
Get
Amber
your back to the
started
wall.
making her way inside.
Get your back to the wall.
That's when I saw him. The
Who?
same guy in a clown mask, standing to the side of my shed.
Nah, bro, let's go.
Just stared at each other for a while,
No.
like he was trying to scare us.
Come on.
And then he suddenly jumped forward and
Come on.
started sprinting at us.
Come on, bro, let's go. Let's run it.
Back door and slammed it shut after Amber. We ran down into the cave, and we got behind the bar in the corner of the room. That's when I realized I never locked the back door. I heard a slam from upstairs. Now everything was silent in the man cave. Amber started texting 911 because she was too scared to talk. She explained that there was a man in the house. Minutes felt like hours. It must have been like 10 minutes tops, and the sound I had been dreading to hear came. The basement door opening. I heard footsteps come down the stairs and down the hallway.
Dude,
My girlfriend was breathing too loud.
get
I had to cover her mouth.
a weapon.
I heard footsteps come towards our direction and stop.
He knows you're down there.
I was starting to think my only option might be to fight if he finds out where we were.
You should have fought from the beginning. You should have fought from the beginning, bro. As soon as he starts charging at you, bro, you're just like, hey, bro, nah, let's go. Because remember, this is not like a horror movie. These are just actual, real flesh and blood human beings who can get their ass beat. Okay. And I know what you might say. You might have a weapon on him. And if he does, he does. You know. if I'm about to go, what's the name? Drago on him. Hey, man. If I die, I die. But more than likely, he's the one that's gonna be dying. Cause when my life is threatened and I get you downed, it ain't stopping there. I'm going until I know you ain't getting back up. And if that means death, hey man, self-defense. Self-defense.
Word. I grabbed a beer bottle from behind the bar and prepared myself mentally to fight if I had to.
We
stayed silent for quite a while. But then we heard sirens come from outside.
Okay.
I realized this was the perfect distraction and moment to strike.
Yeah!
In a fraction of a second, I got up, ran at him, and swung at his head with the bottle.
That's what you should
I tripped and fell after I swung, and I hit the ground.
I was about to say that's what you should have did before, but you didn't have a bottle on you. I still would have ran at him and like hit him. Like we would have met like just like Avengers Endgame, you know. But yeah, hitting him in the head with the bottle is a good idea. What I also would have did probably is like, and again, maybe I'm just too bloodthirsty. I would have broken that bottle. You got the jagged piece. I'm stabbing him in the jugular. That's what's happening. He's dying.
To see that man with the clown mask from earlier. I think his mask somewhat blocked my swing because he barely flinched. I realized this was a stupid idea.
That's why you should have
seemed like he was
broke
about
it.
To go back upstairs after hearing the sirens anyway.
It stabbed him in the jugular.
Looked down at me on the floor.
In the leg, something.
I was about to yell at Amber to run as I laid on the floor, scrambling to get up. My legs felt numb, and I realized my life could potentially end right now. But the police could be heard outside. The man stared for another moment before running up the stairs. And then we heard the back door open and slam again. I ran upstairs to let the police in and told them he went out back. And of course you're wondering. The answer is no. The police somehow never caught this guy to my knowledge. I can't go down to that man cave alone anymore without feeling anxious, even to this day. So we would hang out at Amber's for a while after that. There's nothing I can do but look back and be grateful that we're still alive.
He's still out there.
Never forget that feeling of looking up and seeing that clown mask staring down at me as I flailed on the ground.
Shit. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, I would have broken that bottle. You know, I'm sure it's probably harder than it is in the movies, but I still think it works. You know, break the bottle, jagged piece of bottle glass in the throat, you know, just, blood spewing everywhere. And guess what? You ain't going to jail for that. It's self-defense. He broke into your house. Stand your ground. Oh, man. Yeah, I think I've noticed a through line with like watching these horror stories where like, you know, people's lives are threatened and I like put myself in a situation. My first instinct is to just fight. That's just how I am. And maybe it's because like I didn't fight as much as a kid. Like this is like a tangent, but it's related, you know. As a kid in middle school. In middle school, I got bullied. High school, I was like, I had a group of friends. We were tight knit. We were known around campus. But middle school, I got bullied, and I think because I never fought back, or I did fight back once, where like I stabbed a dude with a pencil. It was. I think that was the moment. That was the moment where like my flight or fight response went immediately to like fight, and it's stayed there ever since. Right. If I feel that I am threatened and I see what's threatening me, if it's human, if it doesn't have a weapon that I can see, we are squaring up, or if you do have a weapon, I'm also finding a weapon. Of course, if it's a gun, you run. Like if it's a gun, you run. But like if I just see like some dude in a clown mask, he's come charging at me, bro, let's go. Because if he's charging at me, it's not like he's gonna charge at me and pull out a gun. Like you shoot at a distance or whatever. If he's charging at me, I'm charging back. Let's go. I'm defending my turf. We're going to war. All right. That's just That's just my philosophy, man. Whenever I'm threatened, run it. Oh man, what a great video. Great video, man. Once again, go over to Mr. Nightmare, subscribe to his channel. Puts out some great stories, and like the ambiance is great with like the sound effects and the music and stuff. Oh, it really really makes you uneasy. Yeah, man, great stuff. Before you go and before I go, do me a favor, like the video, man. Helps the algorithm to push my content. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'm on the road to 300 subscribers, man. Help me get there, and then I can move on. We can one day reach 1,000. All right. Now, with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.